Locke & Key is the perfect combination of every horror TV show that we've loved over the years. From the creepy vibes of Stranger Things to the thrill of Haunting of Hill House, this magical series has everything it needs to become a Netflix smash. Although the Key House from Locke & Key gives us the chills, we're still blown away by its secrets. When we see a new magical world like this, most of us just wish we could become part of it too. Here are 8 behind-the-scenes secrets that fans don't know about. At number 8, Key House was carefully decorated. Locke & Key takes you through a journey across different genres. From fantasy to love to family to horror, it has everything. But how did creators put all of these themes together into one show? It's all about the Key House. There's a thing about haunted houses that all fans love. These mansions of creaky doors, dingy basements, and secret rooms are what create the best horror shows of all time. Locke & Key fits perfectly into that tradition with their own carefully curated Key House. The entire interior of the house was built specifically for Locke & Key. Netflix did not just pick up a creepy-looking mansion and decide to use it for the show. They actually put the Key House together, piece by piece, making it look as realistic as possible while taking inspiration from the original comics. The Key House takes all of our childhood fears of creepy old buildings and breathes fresh air into it. The ancient architecture, old furniture, and very high walls give us the perfect setting to enjoy Locke & Key to the fullest. Creators of the show made sure that the fans feel like they're part of the Key House themselves. Now that's what makes a truly thrilling horror show. Next, Key House isn't real. If you've been dreaming about going inside the Key House yourself, then we're really sorry to burst your bubble. Unfortunately, the Key House isn't actually a real location. Now, this might come as a surprise to you. From the way that the entire series is presented, it's easy to think that the mysterious mansion actually exists, minus the fantasy elements though, but that isn't true. The entire show was filmed in Toronto, Canada. Even though the facade of the Key House was built in Toronto, it's more of an exterior structure than a fully practical house. Stanchfield said that you might be able to tell, but all the Key House sets are incredibly stunning in real life. All the details you see on the show are right there. All those creepy scenes, the magical keys, everything. When you see the Key House on screen, there are a lot of CGI elements added to give you the final fantasy look. Most scenes are actually filmed on sets that follow the same creepy theme as the house, and that makes it much easier to film such a fast-moving show as Locke & Key. Netflix made sure to follow the exact specs of Hill's comic down to every detail. They fabricated the entire manse to make fans believe that it exists for real. Brownie points for effort. Up next, it took 12 years. This isn't the first time someone tried to bring Locke & Key's story to life. In one way or another, an on-screen adaptation of Locke & Key has been in the works for over 12 years now. Ever since the comic book series became a huge hit, producers were keen to bring the story to life. But movies have failed to even begin production, and multiple pilot episodes have been turned down by TV networks. So how did Netflix hit the jackpot? Actor Darby Stanchfield explained that this was the third time Netflix took a chance at making Locke & Key. This time, they had a great advantage of Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez being fully involved in the production. Plus, the executive producers Carlton Cuse and Meredith Averill really made sure that Locke & Key would make it to everyone's Netflix screens this time. There's a lot of responsibility and caution when you try bringing a popular comic series to real life. Instead of adapting the comics page by page, Netflix tried a different approach. They shifted the tone and dynamic and created something that felt like a fresh new take on the story. Still, 12 years to get Locke & Key right? Now that's the kind of devotion that everyone needs in their life. Secret number 5, scared acting is hard. Actors make their job look so effortless. When you watch Locke & Key, nobody can tell that the actors would have had a tough time playing their roles. If anything, it looks like they were actually scared of the mysterious keys with magical powers in the Key House. The truth is that it was challenging for the actors to pull off this super convincing, scared acting. If anyone is ever in a situation like this in real life, they'd probably just be frozen in their spot. No movement, no emotion, nothing. But when it comes to acting scared, there's much that these actors need to do. Stanchfield revealed a huge behind-the-scenes secret for the fans. The cast had to spend extra hours rehearsing for these horrifying scenes. She said that it's really easy to keep repeating repeating the exact same expression in every horror scene. If they started doing that, we probably would have stopped watching Locke & Key after the first 2 episodes. Thankfully, the cast was able to tap into the specific emotion of every scene. They thought about the exact thing that scared their characters at the moment, why it made them uneasy, and translated that all into a few facial expressions. How crazy is that? Most of all, the actors focused on what their characters are feeling like. If they're fearing the life of their family, then they're probably super confused, in belief, and extremely terrified. And that's exactly what we saw on their faces on screen. Next, number 4, it was freezing. The pearl white snow and eerie atmosphere of the winter might look beautiful on screen, but it was actually freezing cold in Toronto. You might just be getting chills from the mysteries and demons on the show, but the actors were getting chills quite literally. Actors recall that they could be wearing 5 layers of long johns and still feel cold. At some point, it was too cold to even get all your words out. Stanchfield recalled that there was one scene during Locke & Key where she couldn't even say any of her R's and T's. It was so cold that she was shivering, and still being able to film such incredible scenes in that weather sounds absolutely ridiculous to us. Even though the Canadian winter vibe made it the perfect location to film Locke & Key, we'd imagine that the actors had a tough time putting up their best appearance. It isn't easy to get all dressed up and put your show face on in freezing temperatures. Now we have the location change. Now, this BTS secret is one that loyal comic readers might have already noticed. In the original comic series, the Key House was in a town called Lovecraft, Massachusetts. It's pretty adorable that Joe Hill wanted to pay homage to H.P. Lovecraft in his comic books by giving the town his last name. However, you'd never hear the name Lovecraft on the TV adaptation of Locke & Key. This time, Hill wanted to pay tribute to another classic horror writer that he loves, Richard Matheson. Instead of Lovecraft, the Locke & Key TV series is based in Matheson, Massachusetts. We wonder what's the story behind always choosing Massachusetts for the mysterious Key House, though. Up next, recasting from Hulu to Netflix. It isn't easy to find the right cast to play characters that you're bringing out of a comic series. Usually, writers have certain actors in mind when they are writing the scripts for new shows. But when you're just adapting a story from comics to TV, it becomes much more challenging to cast the right team of actors. Now that we've watched Locke & Key, it's pretty much impossible to think of anyone except Emilia Jones and Connor Jessup to play these beloved characters. But before the show made its way to Netflix, it actually had a completely different cast. If you don't already know, then it was Hulu that tried creating Locke & Key first. When they rejected the pilot episode, Netflix grabbed the opportunity and made the show their own. If Hulu had continued making Locke & Key themselves, then we would have seen Frances O'Connor and Nina Locke, along with Megan Carpentier and Nate Cordry. Hulu even considered giving Danny Glover and Owen Teague some roles in the show. Interestingly, only Jackson Robert Scott stayed consistent as Bodhi from Hulu to Netflix. And lastly, season 3 is coming. You've already heard the news from Netflix themselves, but Locke & Key will definitely be back for season 3. But the real question is, when? This list of Locke & Key BTS secrets wouldn't be complete without mentioning how the team has been super sneaky about when the next season would drop. In fact, they're probably far ahead in the game than we'd expect. Back in October 2021, Carlton Cuse revealed that they'd already written a good chunk of season 3 before they started filming season 2. Darby Stanchfield, or our beloved Nina Locke, also revealed that the filming for season 3 wrapped much before season 2 came to our Netflix screens. According to this, we can expect to see the 3rd installment of Locke & Key by spring or summer 2022, and we've definitely got our hopes up for that. That's a wrap for this video. Until next time.